One hipster trend that has taken off in recent years are the electronic cigarettes, or vapes, or jewels, or whatever Gen Z calls them these days. I know I sound like an old person. These tools allow you to recharge a battery, fill a tiny pen-like substance with flavoured liquid, and breathe in and out vapour. There are also disposable vapes on the rise, with promises of 6,000 puffs, but these devices are now just as costly as cigarettes, and in Australia, it's unclear whether many of these actually do in fact contain nicotine. There's a lot of them which say they are not nicotine but are still seen as addictive. There's also conflicting reports as to whether these containing nicotine or no nicotine will actually be banned in Australia. It's been on the news for about a year now, but I still haven't seen any proper signs that this will actually be legislated. This is also a tool commonly associated with helping younger people ditch cigarettes, but is it safer than cigarettes? Not necessarily. Mehmet Kesimer, PhD, Senior Author, and Associate Professor of Pathology and Laboratory Medicine at the UNC School of Medicine, and co-authors report findings from what is believed to be the first study of the harmful effects of e-cigarettes using sputum samples from human lungs. There is confusion about whether e-cigarettes are safer than cigarettes, because the potential adverse effects of e-cigarettes are only beginning to be studied, said Kesimer, who is also a member of the UNC Marsico Lung Institute. He quotes, "This study looked at possible biomarkers of harm in the lungs, and our results suggest that in some ways, using e-cigarettes could be just as bad as smoking cigarettes." A 2016 Surgeon General's report found that e-cigarette use has increased by 900% amongst high school students from 2011 to 2015. Although, to be fair, that's actually not surprising. Who even heard of vapes in 2011? Also, in 2016, the Food and Drug Administration extended its regulatory oversight of tobacco products to include e-cigarettes. Now, I could speak all day about this study, but rather than bore you, I'm just going to link it in the description of this episode. I just want to leave you with one last quote, which Kesimer has stated, "Comparing the harm of e-cigarettes with cigarettes is a little like comparing apples to oranges. Our data shows that e-cigarettes have a signature of harm in the lung that is both similar to what we see in cigarette smokers and unique in other ways. This research challenges the concept that switching to e-cigarettes is a healthier alternative." And look, while you may have the best intentions in trying something else to erase your addiction to cigarettes, you are only sabotaging yourself and your lungs further. All substitutes make it harder to quit, and all substitutes are wastes of money and bigger wastes of time. And to put this into perspective, I'm also currently battling a vaping addiction myself. So even though I quit cigarettes over 3.5 years ago, time to time I go in and out of vaping. I find at the moment I've definitely become hooked more to, I guess, those that have nicotine in them. It wasn't something I chose to do. I feel kind of stupid in admitting this, but I was using I Get vapes, didn't know that a lot of them did have nicotine in them. I've since switched to the non-nicotine and have found that I've generally, I would say, cut my vaping use by about a quarter. I do feel happy about that, but at the same time I think, God, how did I fall for this again? Like, how did I fall for another fucking nicotine addiction? If you want my best advice, don't do it. Don't even bother. And also, why put yourself through all the pain and misery and all the cost of the substitutes? Is it necessary to suffer from withdrawal symptoms when quitting? Is it difficult to quit? Short answers are no. But before we delve into these illusions, let's discuss the incredible pleasure of being a non-smoker in the next episode.